How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jay, and today we're talking about M1 Finance. And I'll save some of you some time right now. If you're looking for a place where you can be actively buying and selling and trading stocks and options and being real hands-on, M1 Finance is not the place for you. But if you're a long-term buy and hold investor, M1 Finance just might be the best option out there. So what is M1 Finance? What's it all about? Like I just mentioned, it's an investing platform for long-term buy and hold investors. When you invest at M1 Finance, you invest in what they call pies. Basically, a pie is made up of different stocks or ETFs or whatever you want to be investing in. You select the investments you want, and each one is a slice of that overall pie. You set the percentages you want each investment within your pie to be set at, and M1 Finance takes care of the rest. Trading on M1 Finance is commission-free. You can buy fractional shares, and best of all, you can automate your investing. And honestly, that's my favorite feature. That's what really drew me to M1 Finance in the first place. And while I said M1 Finance really isn't a place for an active trader or someone who's going to be buying and selling stocks pretty often, M1 Finance does allow you to be as hands-on with your investments as you want to be. You can choose exactly which investments you want in your investment pie. You can set the percentages exactly how you want them. You can change it as you go, all that good stuff. Or if you want to be even more hands-off, they have a large number of expert pies, which are pre-made investing strategies. Or another fun feature of M1 Finance is you can share pies. I created pies that I'm investing in at M1 Finance, and I link those down in the description of this video if you want to go check out how I'm investing my money at M1 Finance. And if you like it, you can add that to your portfolio, or you can invest in the same pie as I do. So you can share investment strategies with the people you know, or if someone has one set up you like, you can use that. So that's the kind of high-level 1,000-foot overview of M1 Finance. But let's start getting in the details. What are the things I really like about M1 Finance, and what are the things I'm not so hot on? So what do you want first? You want the good news or the bad news? Let's go with the bad stuff first. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off, get it out of the way, get it out in the open. We're having an open discussion here. So the first con to M1 Finance, and this is why I would only recommend it for long-term investing, buy and hold investing, is there's only one trading window in any given day. This means you can't log on and buy the stock or ETF you want at any given point throughout the day. When you have money in your M1 Finance account that you want to invest, how M1 Finance handles the trading is all the given trades from all the different customers M1 Finance has. It pools them all together and executes all those trades at 9:30 a.m. each trading day. Now, they do have what they call M1 Plus, which is a premium version of M1 Finance for $125 a year that gets you a second trading window at 3 p.m. But still, the point remains. You're only getting one or even two trading times in any day. So you can't go really hunting for the best price on any given day or week or whatever. You're just putting your money in, letting it invest, and letting it grow over the long term. So you can see why M1 Finance is not for someone who wants to be actively trading stocks. But if you have a portfolio of ETFs, index funds that you just want to keep adding to constantly over and over and over, then you don't care what the price you get today or tomorrow is. You just want to keep adding money, keep funding that account and watching it grow. Now, the second con to M1 Finance, the second thing that bugs me, and really this is the thing that bugs me most. I really had a hard time with this. There's no easy way to move an investment between different pies without actually having to sell that investment in one pie and buy it in another. So you're actually triggering a sale of a stock just to move it within two pies within the same account. So it seems kind of ridiculous where if I just want to reallocate something within my own account, I actually have to sell my shares and then rebuy them over here. Kind of ridiculous, and I can't understand why M1 Finance works that way. Now, there is a hack workaround for this, which I might have to do an entire separate video on, because it would take me too long to explain. It's kind of complicated. So you can get around it, but for all intents and purposes, it shouldn't have to be a hack or a workaround. It should be easy and simple, and that is probably my biggest con to M1 Finance. And the third and final con I'll mention here about M1 Finance is that setting up multiple pies can be a little bit confusing at first. I'll get into that a little more when I actually walk through the app and get into more detail there. but when I first set out to do it, when I was setting up my account, it was really confusing. But stick around in this video and I'll show you how not to make the same mistakes I did. So we got the bad stuff out of the way. Really, that's all I have to complain about M1 Finance at this point. The positives I'm gonna mention far outweigh those. But before we get into the positives, I have to remind you, hit the like button on this video. It really helps me out. I want to try to get to 100 on each video I make, so help me make that happen. I'd appreciate it. So now the pros of M1 Finance. What are the selling points? What are the features that it has that I think make it the best investing app out there today? First and foremost, it's the automated investing. It's far and away my #1 favorite feature. It's the sole reason I went ahead and opened my account in the first place when I did it. I like to set things on autopilot, especially long-term investments like this. I just want to set it and forget it and watch it grow over the long term. So with M1 Finance, I set up my pie, I allocate my percentages of that pie, I set up my automatic deposit from my bank account into M1 Finance, and then 9:30 a.m. the day after that deposit hits, M1 automatically invests that money according to my allocation, and I don't even have to think about it. The other great benefit to M1 Finance is fractional shares. Really, I don't want to invest any place these days that doesn't let you buy in fractional shares. That's why even though historically most of my money has been with TD Ameritrade and I have no plans on leaving them or moving that money, I'm making most of my new deposits into M1 Finance because I just want to invest at $100, $200, $500 at a time. I don't want to have to worry about having the right amount of money for exactly the number of shares I want to buy. The next pro to M1 Finance: no commissions, no fees. Really, that's becoming par for the course for most investment brokers out there these days, but it's good to see you're not getting nickel and dime with fees at M1 Finance, so you can get your no commissions and no fees, and you can sleep easy about it. I also love the interface of M1 Finance. It's sleek, it's clean, it's relatively minimalist like I loved about Robinhood back in the day, and as an added bonus, the mobile app and the web platform of M1 Finance are the same. They're both high quality. A lot of places you either get a good desktop version of the service and their app sucks, or they have a great app, but you go to use it on a web browser and it's garbage. With M1 Finance, doesn't matter if you're using the app or the web browser, it's great in both places. The menus, everything are exactly the same in both places. So when making a video like this, I don't even have to show you both because it's the same. And last but certainly not least, I probably should have mentioned this towards the top: customer service. Now, obviously, this is the kind of thing, your mileage may vary. I'm sure there are people out there who have had bad experiences, but I actually had to use customer service at M1 Finance, and I was beyond pleased with the service I got from their customer service reps. I sent an email about the issue I was having. I got a response from them in less than an hour. Now, mind you, Fidelity is known for great customer service, and email I sent to their customer support wasn't answered for 3 days. So getting an answer from M1 Finance in less than an hour blew me away. So again, if you're enjoying this so far, please consider giving this video a like down below. If you're interested in checking out M1 Finance, you can use my link down in the description. I think if you use that, you get $30, I get $30, we both go home happy. But no obligation, do what you want to do. So now let's jump into the M1 Finance app and see what it's all about. Okay, so here you can see we're in M1 Finance. This is my core ETF portfolio that I have mentioned 100 times on this channel. My favorite 4 ETFs: VTI, VXUS, VNQ, and BND. Got them here in M1 Finance. This is what my portfolio looks like. You can see right at the top, they give you the nice graph of your pie that you're investing in. Down below, you can see how much money you have in each fund, the percentages compared to the percentages you have set for your allocations. And if I swipe over to the right, you can see a graph of how I did today. Looks like today was a down day in the market, not very good, but not investing in these index ETFs for what they do day to day. Okay, so now I mentioned earlier I would give you a tip to save you from making the same mistake I initially did when I set up my account. So when you sign up for M1 Finance and you want to pick out your initial investments, you have some options. You can either pick out your investments and add them straight into your account, or what you should do is first create a pie and then add that pie to your account. So to manage your pies or view any other pies, we're gonna go down to the research button, then the 3 bars up at the top. If you wanna look at the expert pies that are available. You can click expert pies, and here you can see they have different categories: general investing, retirement, income, hedge funds, other strategies. If we just look at responsible investing pie, you can see this pie has 5 holdings. And if we swipe over, it tells you what it's investing in, how it's allocated. And if you decided, yeah, I want to invest in this, you could add it to your account. You can just add this pie and start investing in that. Same with any of these other ones. There's income earners for different dividend strategies, and so on and so forth. But most people are going to want to create their own pies. So here you would come to My Pies. Here you can see the ones I'm actually using, but I'll show you how to set up a pie. We'll make one right now. Okay, so to create a pie, and this is what you're initially going to want to do when you set up your account, come into research, My Pies, hit the plus sign up here where we can start building our pie. So I hit that plus sign again, and here's all the things we can invest in. We got our stocks, some funds, or we can add those expert pies into our pie. You can do a whole number of things. You can customize your pie exactly how you want it. I'm just gonna keep this easy. Let's say I just wanna go with some big popular stocks and start building positions in those. I'm going to add Apple to my pie. I want some Amazon. Give me Facebook, Tesla, and you know, why not? Let's take some Google too. I select those 5 stocks are what I want my pie to be. I select them, I hit done, and now it takes me to where you can select exactly how each slice in your pie is weighted. So let's say I'm really high on Apple. I want Apple to be 50% of this entire portfolio. Let's say Facebook, I want to knock down to 10%. Let's see, I'm still overweighted here. Let's say we like Tesla at 25%. Oh, all right, we'll knock Apple down to 40. And let's say Amazon, we only want 5%. There, I can set my allocations. I got 40% Apple, 10% Facebook, 25% Tesla, and 5% Amazon in this pie. Once I'm happy with that, how that looks, I click save. It'll create the pie, it'll give me a name. I'll call this like and subscribe, and I'll save my pie. Now you can see this like and subscribe pie is not used in any of my portfolios. So now if I wanted to add this like and subscribe pie to my portfolio, to my other pies, I'd go back to invest. Down here at the bottom where it says manage pie, I'd then go to edit pie, and then click the plus sign, and I would go over to my pies. I'd select like and subscribe, and click add to pie. I'm not actually gonna do that because I don't actually wanna add this in, but that's how you would do it. So now let's just go through some of the other features here on M1 Finance. You saw how we create a pie and we set our percentage for each slice, each investment within there that we want. You can see here, I've got VTI at 50%, VXUS at 30%. Well, what if their performance gets them really out of whack? And VTI is up to 65% of my portfolio, VXUS is down to 10%. What do we do then? Well, we have options. If we hit Manage Pie here, you can click Rebalance. And if you do this, and then you click Confirm, tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m., M1 Finance will automatically rebalance my portfolio back to my set percentages. It'll sell off VTI, which got too overweight, and use that to buy VXUS, which got underweight. But by doing that, you are going to be selling shares of whatever investment is overweight, and that means you'll be realizing gains and have a tax liability on that. So another way to do that is just to make regular deposits. And when you do that, when you make your regular deposits, M1 Finance will split your deposit when it goes to invest it amongst your investments in order to get them to their set percentages. So if VTI was way overweight, but my 3 other investments were below their target percentages, the next investment I make into M1 Finance, it'll invest it just in those that need to be bumped up to their set percentages. And it'll continue to do that till your allocation is back in line. Also here under Manage Pie, you can edit pie, where if you want to change your percentages around, or say I wanted to add a 5th fund into this, I could do it right there, either by messing with the percentages or hitting that plus button and adding in another investment. Another cool little feature is to click View Details, and it'll kind of just give you the overview of your pie. So this one has 4 investments, my 4 funds. The expense ratio on my pie overall is 0.06%. and I'm getting a combined dividend yield of 1.92% out of this. That's really all there is to the pies and creating the pies and editing the pies. It's really self-explanatory. Some of the other features here, you have M1 Spend. They have a debit card, you can get some cash back, things like that, like most brokerages seem to be rolling out these days. The next section over, you can see your transfers of all the money and all the activity in your account. I'm not going to show you that because you don't need to see my details. M1 Borrow is if you want to use margin, which I recommend against. Don't get yourselves involved in margin. They offer a rate of 3.5%. Again, if you sign up for M1 Plus for $125 a year, you get a better margin rate. You get that second trading window, and you get a few other features as well. Then again, if we go over to research, that's where your pies are that you have created. The expert pies, which we looked at earlier. You can set up a watch list of stocks or funds that you want to track. You can see the list of funds available here in M1 Finance. They have just about everything you could possibly want. Same with stocks, the whole list of stocks that you can invest in. I don't know how limited they are. I think they have pretty much everything. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And then they have some general market news, things like that. Or you can search on a specific stock and get the news on that. So pretty standard, pretty straightforward stuff there. So you can see the app is pretty clean, it's pretty straightforward to use. There's not a lot of hidden menus or cluttered design into it. I really like it. It's easy to use, I can automate my investing. That's why I love M1 Finance. Again, if you want to try it out, you can sign up using the link in the description below. If you want to check out what the different pies I have created in M1 Finance are, I will link those in the description as well. In the meantime, check out these two videos right over here. I hope you enjoy them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.